Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
Good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of Sports Extra Ordinary on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Kingsley Emmanuel and I'm very happy to be here this evening to bring you up to speed with the latest revolving around the world of sports. On our menu today, of course, we shall review and preview the UEFA Champions League matches as well as all the stories revolving around the world of sports. It promises to be an exciting edition of the show today. So urge you to sit tight or close to your TV sets as we're ready, of course, to unravel all that you need to know revolving around the world of sports this weekend. We'll take a short break now, and when we come back, of course, I'll bring you the latest from the world of basketball. River Supers, of course, ready in Senegal in preparation for the Basketball African League. We'll take you through all of that on the show. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business.
Welcome back to the Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. Of course, we're going to be taking an in-depth look on the UEFA Champions League matches tonight, and there's all the stories evolving around the world of sports. So we're talking about River Supers and their preparation, of course, ahead of the Basketball African League. But joining me this evening to do justice to the issues we have on our menu is Emmanuel Michael. Michael, good evening to you and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening to you, Kingsley, and good evening to our viewers. They're always a delight to do this with you.
All right, let's quickly take a look at River Supers and how they're preparing for the Basketball African League. Ahead of the Sahara Conference phase of for the 2024 Basketball African League, River Supers have arrived in Dakar, Senegal this time. Now, the 2024 Basketball African League, River Supers will play in a tough Sahara Conference, which features former champions USM Monastir, 2023 runner-up AS Tonnerre, and Rwanda champions APR. The Kingsmen had their last training section at the indoor sport hall of the National Stadium, Lagos, before they headed out to Dakar, Senegal, where they would take on the home team AS Tonnerre in their first game at the Sahara Conference. On Saturday, 4th of May, 2024, that is when, of course, they will be in action at the Basketball African League. Michael, how prepared River Supers for this one?
Very, very prepared, I would want to say, because I've been actually following River Supers' activities since last year when they won the Basketball African League here in the country. I think they've also been preparing very well for this very one. You know, and part of the major of their preparation is to ensure that they're signing, 5 players so far into the squad. The likes of, Kelvin Amayo, Will Perry, to mention, but the rest of the new players that they've actually signed, to add more flair, to add more experience into their squad. And they've, also started the preparation here in Port Harcourt before moving to Lagos State, where they also continue their preparation. So for me, I think if you ask me, I would say that they have actually prepared for this very one, because it's not an easy one to get a foreign, base players to, all join the ranks as well. Not one player, not 2, not 3, but 4, and as much as 5. I think it tells you of their preparation and readiness to also go out there and do themselves proud and do the country proud. Because if they were not prepared, I think they should have not started preparation by now, and they should have not signed any player. Because of the fact that they won the Basketball African League, one would say yes, they are okay, they are contented, because if their team were not good enough, they wouldn't have been able to win the African basketball. To win the basketball, competition.
Premier Basketball League.
Yes. So if they were not good, they should have not won it. But then they went beyond looking at the present squad that they have, because they know that the Basketball African League is a different terrain altogether, and that is why they had to inject new players into the squad to also add that experience into the team. So for me, I think they have been preparing very well for this very one. Let's hope that they are going to also continue in their fine form. Part of the preparation before the African League, he saw them take part in a mini tournament, talking about the Louis Edem Invitational tournament, which they were the defending champion in that very one, but they couldn't defend it. They came third. These are some of the part of the preparation that you say, yes, they are having, an eye of going to the Basketball African League and actually do Nigerians proud. So for me, I think it has been a one for them. Let's hope that they can also continue in this fine form. Some of the new players they were talking of even before jetting out of the country a few days ago. So it clearly tells you of the confidence that is brewing within the camp of the River Supers. So for me, let's hope that they can also continue in this good form and in this good mood, because if they do, I tell you, they will definitely come out in flying colors.
Let's see how River Supers, of course, will be able to push their own in the Basketball African League. We hope this time, of course, they will come out in flying colors. The coach of the side, of course, Ogo Dowd, was saying that with level of preparation and with the players they've got so far, that they should be, of course, able to make it to the playoff of the competition. I don't know what you make of it.
Possibly, just possibly, maybe, because like I said earlier, some of the players that they also signed this season, some of these players have also played in the Basketball African League, though not for a Nigerian club, So for me, I think they have that experience when you talk about the Basketball African League, and that is going to be a good one for Rivers Hoopers, having to sign players that have also played in the Basketball African League. The likes of Will Perry as well, they have also played across the globe, ranging from Belgium to Portugal to Russia. These are not players that are just coming into basketball new, the ones that we call the rookies. They are very grounded and they have the experience. Some of them are 30, some 29 years. So it tells you of the quality and the of what the Kingsmen possess. So for me, with the injection of this new and experienced player, adding to that, adding to the quality that they have already, I think they will definitely come out of that group in a flying color. Looking at their first outing, though, you may want to say that they did not have a good game in their first, in their debut appearance in the Basketball African League, but then it was quite understandable because that experience is not there then, so you cut them some slack. In the second time where we actually qualified, because of the leadership issues then in the Nigerian Basketball Federation, they could not take part in that very one, as the president then, talking about Mohamed Buhari, could not sanction that move. This is their third time that will be making their appearance in the Basketball African League. So with all of this experience that they've gone through, I think it's going to add more strength to them and also help them to come out of that group, in a flying color. Though it's a very difficult group to say, well, we have the likes of US Monastir, the likes of APR and the rest of the team. These are some of the best teams in the continent presently. So for me, I think with the level of their preparation also and the high hope and the confidence that is beaming around the camp, I tell you, they will surely come out of that group.
All right, let's see how it goes. We hope that Rivers Supers, of course, will come out from the group, just like Mike has said. And the coach, Ogo Dowd, is saying that he's very much optimistic that Rivers Supers will make it to the playoff. But let's stay away from the Basketball African League now to take a look at the NBA in the United States of America. This was really an impressive performance as well, as Terry Massey scored 46 points as the Philadelphia 76ers turned the New York Knicks 112 to 106 in overtime to keep their Eastern Conference playoff first round hope alive. The Knicks, leading by 6 points with 29 seconds remaining, looked poised to clinch the series before Max late bursts, including a remarkable 34-footer from the logo, which sent a triumph in the back and forth tussle in New York to peg the Knicks back to 3-2 in Game 5 of the best of 7 series. Michael, what do you make of this one? New York Knicks, Philadelphia 76ers locking horns in this time again against the New York Knicks. At the point in time, it was, of course, the Knicks who got the victory, 112 to 106 as it stands, and it's 3-2 at this point in favor of New York Knicks. What do you make of this particular series?
I think for me, I would tell you that it has been a very impressive one. The 76ers, they were down by 3-1, and heading into this game, you expect them to come back, fighting from up front, which is what they did, though the game wasn't an easy one. It was a very, very cagey game. Looking at it from the first start of the game, you saw how both teams were scampering, seeing if they can be able to get through. But then the 76ers kept their hope alive, because if they had lost that very game yesterday, then one might say maybe it was over for them. But then they understand the kind of delicate situation today, smiling and cheering them to victory. So actually they needed the victory to keep their hope alive. As it stands right now, because of that victory, they are closer to Phoenix, as they are down by 3-2 right now. But then it is a positive one. If they have,
well, about 2 games remaining.
Yes, so it is a positive one for them. Let's hope that they can continue to fight from all fronts. Maybe in their next game, if they can continue to try, they may square up to 3-3, and we'll say game on. But as it stands right now, their hope is still very much alive.
Hope, of course, for the Philadelphia 76ers still very much alive. Can they go all the way in getting this one done on the doorstep? That's actually the big question as it is. Now, Massey heroics were accompanied by a triple-double from Joe Embiid, who scored 19 points while recording 16 rebounds and 10 assists as well in that encounter. Elsewhere, the injury hits Milwaukee Bucks triumph in their must-win tie with the Indiana Pacers winning 115 to 92. The Bucks trailing 3-1 in the series and missing injured stars Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard look to be heading for defeat after the Pacers raced into 31-23 lead in the fourth quarter. But the Bucks, led by Chris Middleton and Bobby Portis, points apiece, took
was absent, but then some of the players also came up very clutchy to also respond in a good fashion to be able to carry the burden of the team along. The likes of Joe Embiid out injured. Of course, whenever Joe Embiid is in is fit, Gianni Antetokounmpo, whenever he's fit for the Milwaukee Bucks, definitely expect that magical touch from him out there to do the to make the difference. But then injury setting as two of their key men were down, and some of their fans thought maybe it was done and dusted for them. Well, that is what it means for you to have many players that are willing to step up when your key man is down. When the chips are down, this is where you expect some of the names that you are not familiar with to step up, to rise up to the occasion and be able to deliver at this big stage. So for me, I think it's a great one for them, knowing fully well that they were 3-1. Now, they were not magical enough in a night where you expected them to come with all of their magic, to also get the victory. But I think it wasn't their day yesterday. They did everything possible, It was like back and forth, but then looking at the point disparity, you see how tough that game was yesterday. But then I think the better side won. It's game on. It's looking likely that most of this game will go down to the wire, because you are seeing almost 4 or 3 of those games right now. They are 3-2, 3-2. So it will go down to the wire. That is what I'm sensing. See this season going away from home to get all, to get the points it needed. Despite the fact that the Orlando Magic that we're playing at home, you expect their fans to also roar on the night to be able to cheer their team to victory. But then most time at this stage in the NBA, it doesn't matter wherever you are playing, whether you are playing away from home or you are playing from home. What matters is your ability to give out your best in the court out there and ensure that your team comes as successful, because none of those players is going to look on the side of the fans or the crowd that will be cheering. All their focus will be on how to see if they can be able to pull through and get a positive result. Though you may want to say, yes, home crowd, sometimes they play a very major role in helping their team to get the victory. But I tell you, at this point in time, home fan for me does not count. What counts is the ability of this team. What counts is the dream and the aspiration of these teams, to go out there and make the difference. But then, that is not to rule out, the home support. But like I said earlier, home support or no home support, I think any team that is very, very desperate for the victory will definitely go out there and get a positive result. All
right, let's stay away from basketball this evening. I will take a look at tennis on the show. Was really an impressive one in the Madrid Open, as Madison Keys produced a stunning comeback against 8th seed Ons Jabeur to reach the semi-finals of the Madrid Open. The Tunisian composure crumbled as Keys clinched the second set before dominating the decider to triumph 6-7-6 as 7-5, 6-1 in that particular encounter. Michael, a setback as well for the lady from Africa down here, talked about Ons Jabeur.
Yeah, a big setback for Ons Jabeur. For Ons Jabeur, her inconsistency remains the greatest undoing on her game so far. Since the last 3 seasons right now, Ons Jabeur have gotten closer to his success, but whenever she inches closer to that, for the fact that there is this attachment that I would say that I have for her because of the fact that she's an Africa, and that is the more reason why I expected Ons Jabeur, to get that one done and dusted. Even in fact, in the first set of that game, I was very happy. I was even relaxed that Ons Jabeur is going to, get the victory in that very one, but it did not pan out that way. I think I feel for her rather, but then it's time for her rather to go back into the drawing board and start to work on those things that have made her to lose some vital games over the years, that when she inches closer to get to success, she get to lose it. There is time for her to work on her game and show that composure and consistency if she truly want to be among, the big names there.
Let's see how it goes for Ons Jabeur. Another disappointment, of course, you will say. Well, Madison Keys, of course, like Mike said down there, will be facing Iga Swiatek as it stands. And Let's see how it goes at this point in time. But that will be a very tough encounter, Michael. Madison Keys against Iga Swiatek.
Sure. It's definitely going to be a very tough encounter for Madison Keys because she will be meeting the world #1. Not just he's a player you cannot, underestimate any day, anytime. She comes anytime.
Madison Keys took out Corey Kokogov in the 4th round.
Yeah, no doubt she took out Corey Kokogov, but taking a look at the game of Kokogov and her consistency in the last 12 months is not thing to be compared with what Iga Swiatek has also done this season. So these are two players of different quality. So, and that is why I'm looking at it that for Madison Keys, this might probably be her last bus stop coming up against the world #1 Iga Swiatek, who is in very, very good form this time around. But then this is a game, anything can happen. I expect an upset, but can she pull that upset against Iga Swiatek? I doubt, because all the odds and
after sweeping past Spain, Sarah Tomo in just 68 minutes, Swiatek needed 2 hours, 30 minutes to wrap up the 4-6, 6-love, 6-2 win against the Brazilian, talking about British Hedemare, and now she'll be facing Madison Keys at this point in time. Now, it was the first time the world #1 dropped a set, in the tournament. Let's see how, of course, it goes down for her. But Michael, we saw an impressive encounter for Jerry Leska, of course, hosting out Rafael Nadal, one man who has actually won this one for a very, very huge number of time, as it is. But he was actually beaten by Jerry Leska. What do you make of it, after 3 victories for Rafael Nadal in this Madrid Open?
End of the road for Rafael Nadal. I mean, he has been battling to gain back that relevance over the years after losing it to injury and to age as well. But it looks as though every time he gets close to making a statement of intent in any competition out there, there is always this setback. It's either injury, it's either fatigue, or it's either age that also serves as a stumbling block. But then you can't rule away the achievement of Rafael Nadal, what he has also achieved in the world of tennis. I mean, today, Rafael Nadal is one of the household names in the world of tennis. You can't mention about 5 great players when you talk about the ATP without also mentioning the name of Rafael Nadal. He has also achieved a lot, for himself in this game. I think for me, it's just high time that possibly start thinking of, calling it a quit. But then, because of the love and passion that he has for the game, I think that is the reason why he's still very much around. But I tell you, this year will definitely be the last that we are going to see Rafael Nadal, and that is why I want to maximize the opportunity and also try to finish on a very high note. Even despite his defeat yesterday, you saw the award, individual award that he received, and his fans as well, they were so emotional about Rafael Nadal. Immediately he was defeated, but he came up with a statement saying that he's still very much around, but I think we are about to have the Roland Garros in a few more time, and I think that is what Rafael Nadal is eyeing. If he go to the Roland Garros and finish very well, that would be a good one for him. But one thing is very certain, that age, coupled with the incessant injury here and there for Rafael Nadal, will definitely, make him to retire very soon, not beyond 2024.
All right, so I think very, very disappointing performance we just saw now from Carlos Alcaraz, because he's been beaten by Andrew Rublev for 4-6, 6-3, 6-2. Michael, this is one man everyone expects, to wear the shoe of Rafael Nadal, but the inconsistency seems to be playing in Carlos Alcaraz's career at this point in time. He's been beaten in the Madrid Open. Don't forget, he's the defending champion, and now he's been ousted out at this stage. 4-6, 6-3. 6-2, it ended in favor of Andrew Rublev.
Not a good one for Carlos Alcaraz, one man who was tipped, or who is still being tipped to be, the new face of the ATP, to take over the likes of the place of, Novak Djokovic or even Rafael Nadal, because of his promising, start in his career. We thought maybe, yes, he's going to fit into that shoe of Novak Djokovic, but it's looking likely that that shoe is very, very big and very heavy for him to wear at this point in time, because we still have other great players out there. You talk about the likes of Yannick Sinner, the likes of Daniel Medvedev, the likes of Fraser, even Rublev as well. These are very good players that is still very much around. So I said it will take a whole lot of strength, it will take a whole lot of determination and a deliberate action towards improving his game before you think about wearing the shoe of Novak Djokovic or Rafael Nadal. If not, I tell you, you're just still going to be one of those prospects, one of those great names that we'll hear when they are still him. This inconsistency of Alcaraz is actually making him to maybe lose relevance for me, because you talk about a big name that is likely to take over from the likes of Novak Djokovic or even Rafael Nadal. I think one thing that comes to my mind, or the player that comes to my mind at this point, is Yannick Sinner, because Yannick Sinner has been very, very consistent. You can't fault what he has achieved in the last 12 months or thereabouts. So for me, I think Carlos Alcaraz needs to start doing a very serious work right now if we truly, truly want to be or become the new face of the ATP.
All right, so sad for Carlos Alcaraz, but I look forward to see how far, of course, he'll be able to go this year in his career. But in the female category, Elena Rybakina, of course, beat Yulia Putintseva. It ended in a 6-4, 7-6, 7-5, victory as well for Elena Rybakina. Let's, of course, those are later results coming from the Madrid Open, and of course, we'll continue to bring you the results as they unfold on our screens, down here. But at this point, I'll take a short break, and when we'll come back from this break, we'll bring you the latest from the beautiful world of football. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Still goes to Atn. Do I need love to be immortality of an athlete? 19.79. It's a goal. It's 8 goals.
Every day, our lives are changed by history,
Very family.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
just when you're ability as an athlete, 19.79. It's a goal, it's 8 goals.
You're welcome back. It's the Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network, and we're bringing you the latest revolving around the world of sport. It's time for me to bring you the latest from football this time, and we'll start with the Nigerian Premier Football League, as the NFF disciplinary committee has provided their decision over the Nigerian Premier Football League game between Eyimba and Doma United in Aba. According to a statement released yesterday, the NFF disciplinary committee have overturned the 1-0 results of the game between Eyimba and Doma United to end as goalless. Eyimba scored a goal after 88 minutes, which the AR raised his flag for offside, and the referee agreed. However, after restart, Eyimba fans were said to have stopped the game from going on, forcing the referee to visit the OB van, which led to a change in decision from the referee, which he was said to have made due to tension around him. The referee also testified to being forced to make his match reports in the dressing room in the presence of Eyimba officials, which made him limit his word. Eyimba will not have the right to appeal this decision. Michael, what do you make of this situation as it stands now? Eyimba, of course, they lost 2 points now in that due to this particular decision. So it is Doma United 1 point in that particular encounter, and Eyimba 1 point. But what do you make of the drama in that particular game?
Like I said earlier, Kingsley, we were talking off air before we came in right now in our sister station. I said it was a sham and shenanigan. Watching that game, I saw the clip of the game. I think it was not something that is worthy of a Nigerian Premier Football League out there. That an in-swinger was staying inside the 18-yard box and a player was offside. There was a scramble inside the 18-yard box, but the player that was offside, which is Mboma, had to scramble the ball inside the net, and he went on to celebrate. But the linesman actually has risen his flag for an offside. Even the referee, agreed with that and blew an offside. But then, because of the pressure from Eyimba players and their officials, according to the referee, that his life was in danger, so he was compelled, he was coaxed. In fact, he was under duress that he must, count that goal. If not, he will not go out of there, hurt. And for me, as a referee who still values his life, he has family and other things to care for, the simple thing you could do is just to award the goal so that you go out of the stadium alive. So for me, I think it's not a good news, but then I think the league body have come up with a very good solution to also, deem that game was it was 0-0. They share the point, because if you ask me, you take a look at the game, Doma United gave a good account of themselves. They were able to hold Eyimba in their Aba Township Stadium for almost all the duration of the game. 88 minutes, Eyimba could not score in their home ground, and it tells you that Doma United deserve to go home with a point. But because of the threat from the Eyimba officials, they had to compel the referee to award that as a goal. So for me, I think it's not a good one for the league. At some point, I was even afraid for the life of the referee, because you saw the players of Doma United, thronging down to cluster around the ref. They rounded him up. At some point, there were no security officials out there to help the referee. So, these are not the things that we want to hear at this point in time, where the league is trying to improve. We've seen 1 or 2 innovations brought in by the Benga Elegbeleye board, and so many quarters has been praising him for some of the new innovation that they've been doing so far this season. But then again, Eyimba and their fans also came to distort that confidence that is gradually being built in NPFL, which is not a good one. I think for me, this point deduction will also even favor Enugu Rangers, because Enugu Rangers were 2 points ahead of Eyimba. Now that this point has been, 2 points have been deducted from, Eyimba, I think that will even make it 4-point advantage for Enugu Rangers. And as it stands, they have no room to appeal that game. So for me, I think it also goes a whole long way to tell Enyimba and their fans and their authority, despite whatever, in a game of football, there are 3 results that you expect. It's either you win, it's either you lose, or you draw. And whichever result that comes your way, take it and show the spirit of sportsmanship other than, trying to threaten the referee that he will not go there alive and all of that. I think for me, that is the old story that we've been hearing. At this new century, at this century, we shouldn't be hearing of such. So, if there's any other sanction that is that the NPFL body deem necessary, I think they should met it out to Enyimba, because if they just end it here without digging deep to know the reason why there was no security present, that is my concern, because the life of the referee was in danger. And so if he did not award that as a goal, just imagine what would have happened to him. Because, like I say, you need to go back to the clips and rewatch it again, and saw that, the referee was just on his own. And at that point in time, I actually pitied the referee, which is not something that we should be, seeing in our Nigerian Premier Football League, because this is going viral. The world is watching it, and that is some of the reason why in any CAF organized competition, CAF find it difficult to pick Nigerian referees, not to even talk about FIFA organized competition. If we are doing this kind of dirty things in our league, how do you expect CAF to appoint a Nigerian referee to officiate any CAF organized competition, not to talk of any competition organized by FIFA? So I think it's a slap to the refereeing association. It is also a slap to the league body as well, and also a shame and embarrassment to Enyimba Football Club. And if you take a look at the track record of Enyimba and their fans, I think this is very, very unbecoming, because in time past we know Enyimba as that place that you can go, and get all 3 points. We're surprised to see what I saw in the screen, about the Enyimba and their fans the other day. I think it was quite disappointing. But I know the reason. They are contending for the league. 2 points. That result, either by hook or by crook. But football is not that way. You must not always get a positive result every time, every day you play at home. Others that came to Manuel Amunike, reason being because I think he has an in-depth knowledge of the game. Secondly, he's a man that he also has a very verifiable, track record as well. He has done so well in the under-17 as well. And for me, I think looking at his knowledge of the game presently is the best. So many Nigerians were shocked when Finidi George was announced as the head coach, because immediately the numbers were thrown down to 2. Emmanuel Amunike and Finidi George. Many Nigerians, in quotes, were of the opinion that Emmanuel Amunike is going to be the head coach. Why? Because he commands this respect from the players. Don't forget some of the players in the national team presently. They agree under him. The likes of Victor Osimhen, Samuel Chukwueze, Taiwo Awoniyi. These are players that pass under the tutelage of Emmanuel Amunike, and he's one man that truly understands the feelings, and he knows what Nigerians want. And even all these months that he has been out, away from job, he has been moving from stadium to stadium in our league here to keep an eye on our local league, to keep an eye on the players. It tells you of a man that is prepared for the job. And looking at the points, at this point where we find ourselves in a very dicey situation, in terms of the World Cup qualifier, I think that is the man that many Nigerians, would have loved. Choosing another person at this point in time will be very, very dicey. We know, like I said earlier, we are seated third in our group in the World Cup qualifying, in the World Cup group that we find ourselves, having drawn 2 of our last game. The next task for Finidi George right now is to go and win the 3rd game, because we cannot afford to lose or even draw the 3rd game. South Africa did us a whole lot of favor when they actually went and draw their game. If they had won the game, South Africa would have been, 4 points now on the log. So for me, I think there is no excuse. Whoever is appointed right now, or whosoever Finidi George decide to pick as his assistant, they have no excuse than to deliver, because we can't afford to miss out on the last World Cup. And also semi-final of the Vinicius Junior, who scored the 2 goals. He made a difference in that game yesterday. Let's await the second leg, but the second leg even promises to be more intriguing, because anything can happen. Don't forget, the way goal rules is no longer in vogue. So just go there, play your game, play whatever you know. Forget about the way they are still very much in contention. He left for Real Madrid to also get the job done and dusted at Bernabeu.
All right, let's see how it goes. Can Bayern Munich go down to Santiago Bernabeu and, of course, get the victory? Or maybe Carlo Ancelotti, of course, will want to continue his impressive performance with the Los Blancos, talking about Real Madrid. But let's stay away from that particular encounter. There will be another game tonight, and that's the game between Borussia Dortmund and Paris Saint-Germain. Michael, that encounter, of course, will be at the Signal Iduna Park. What do you make of that game? You see Dortmund, of course, capitalizing on their home advantage and, of course, getting past Paris Saint-Germain tonight.
Yeah, I think for me it's an evenly poised encounter that is going to be. Dortmund on their own side, they are not a novice when it has to do with a Champions League. They have been there in this stage before. They understand what it means. Having not also done well in their domestic league by even contending for the title, because the only team that you look out for in the Bundesliga and say they want to give Bayern Munich a run for their money is probably Dortmund. But a different team came this season, talking about Bayern Leverkusen, and were able to run away with the title with even 5 games to spare. You begin to ask yourself, where was the likes of Dortmund? Dortmund is not doing well. They did not do well rather in their league. But in the Champions League, they know this is the only route they have to lay hand on any major silverware this season. And playing in the front of their home fans is also an added advantage for them. But then again, they will be facing up a very strong PSG side. I will also be hoping to make a statement with their new coach, talking about the man, Enrique, who has also won the Champions League with Barcelona in 2015. So you have an in-depth knowledge of the Champions League as well. And again, Kylian Mbappe, their star man, who will be leaving next season, he want to also, lay hand on that Champions League trophy in the color of Paris Saint-Germain. So we expect him to come to the party tonight. Not also forgetting Ousmane Dembele. So for me, I think I would say maybe advantage of the Kylian Mbappe factor, because I tell you, anytime that Kylian Mbappe is fit, is always a plus to any team out there. So I expect him to carry the burden of the team tonight. But then going away to Signal Iduna, where also it's a place that team find it difficult to go and get a positive result out there. It's going to be a very tough one. But then I expect an entertaining game tonight.
Let's see how it goes, and we can't forget a certain Jadon Sancho in Dortmund side, who's also looking for